Beloved friends, life is not a struggle, it is not a battle, it is a game. A game of magnificent laws, and when you learn to play it rightly, the universe itself rushes forward to place treasures at your feet. Riches are not created by toil alone, nor by fear, nor by desperate grasping. Riches come when you align with the invisible, when you speak with authority the word that sets substance in motion. The unseen is the source, and all that you can hold in your hand must first be held in your thought. Your wealth is not there, hiding in some distant corner. It is already within you, vibrating, pressing to appear in visible form. Speak the word of abundance, and the tide of provision answers. Declare prosperity, and watch the doors swing wide. The universe hears the confident voice and obeys. Many walk in poverty because they rehearse poverty. They speak of lack, they picture limitation. And then they wonder why their purse is empty. But the law is precise: what you prepare for with your words, and your faith is exactly what comes. If you prepare for scarcity, scarcity must show itself. If you prepare for overflowing treasure, then overflowing treasure cannot be kept from you. You'll be so rich it's scary, because when you once touch the river of supply, you will marvel at how swiftly, how effortlessly, the channels of wealth open. Fear will whisper, "This is too much for you. Surely you do not deserve such increase." Yet you must answer fear with faith. Fear is only the shadow cast by ignorance. Faith is the light that dissolves it. Do not beg, do not strain, do not push. Simply stand and declare, "Infinite substance is my unfailing source of supply. Prosperity is mine, wealth is mine, and I walk in abundance now." These words are not idle. They are commands, and they stir the great invisible storehouse into action. The riches that come are not only gold and silver, not merely houses and lands, though these too are included. Riches are health of body, peace of mind, love that enfolds you, opportunities that multiply, right doors opening at the right time. True wealth is complete, and when you align with it, you cannot be half supplied, you must be full supplied. Some will look at your sudden increase and say, "Surely this is a miracle." And indeed, it is. But miracles are simply the natural outworking of divine law. What seems startling is only the inevitable result of correct alignment. The riches were always there, waiting for recognition. So I say to you, let your word be strong. Let your vision be clear. Do not measure your fortune by the small coin in your hand, but by the limitless supply behind it. Prepare to be astonished. For when you believe in abundance, when you declare it with certainty, the universe must deliver. You'll be so rich it's scary. And that is the proof that the law has been obeyed. Wealth begins in thought and spoken word. For every visible form you see around you once lived first in the realm of imagination and utterance. The house was once an idea. The business was once a dream. The field of golden harvest was once a vision carried by a farmer who believed in the seed. Nothing can enter your experience until it has first been admitted into the secret chamber of your mind and then confirmed by the sound of your own declaration. Your thought is the architect, your words are the builders, and the structure of your life takes shape exactly in the image you consistently design. When you say, "I lack," you lay a foundation of lack. When you say, "I prosper," you summon all the invisible resources of the universe to bring prosperity into form. The world is ruled not by chance, not by accident, but by the precision of law. The law responds to vibration, and vibration is generated by thought wrapped in feeling, then released through the spoken word. Every sentence you utter is like a seed cast into the fertile soil of the universe, and each seed bears fruit after its kind. Speak of trouble and more trouble appears. Speak of wealth and wealth begins its journey toward you. People often wonder why prayers seem unanswered, why affirmations seem delayed. Yet they forget that their every idle word also has creative force. They cancel their riches with constant complaints. They uproot their harvest with declarations of doubt. You cannot plant roses in the morning and trample them in the afternoon and expect blossoms to appear. So too, you cannot affirm prosperity once and then repeatedly affirm poverty with worry and despair. The mind is a workshop, but words are the command. You may imagine wealth, but if your speech contradicts your vision, the vision falters. To say, "I cannot afford," is to strike down the very abundance preparing to enter. To say, "I always succeed," is to fling wide the gates for opportunity. Your words carry the authority of law because they reveal your inner agreement, and the universe takes you at your agreement. No external power resists you. The only resistance comes from within when you attempt to serve both fear and faith with the same tongue. Consider the child who pretends in play to be a king. He may hold a stick as a scepter, wear a blanket as a robe, and declare himself ruler of the realm. Though nothing outwardly changes, his imagination and his words bring forth a kingdom in which he moves with authority. That same law governs adults, though they often forget. If you speak continually of debt, the kingdom of debt expands. If you speak continually of wealth, the kingdom of wealth begins to rise around you. Your circumstances bend to your speech just as surely as the child's imagination bends to his proclamation. The subconscious mind, that silent servant, does not argue, does not analyze, but accepts the repeated word as fact. If you declare, "Money flows to me with ease," the subconscious begins to arrange conditions to support it. If you declare, "I am always struggling," the subconscious obediently ensures your life aligns with struggle. It is not a matter of superstition but of deep law. The subconscious is the soil, the word is the seed, and the harvest cannot be other than the seed planted. So many individuals sabotage themselves by careless words. They greet one another with tales of misfortune. They affirm illness with each conversation. They confirm lack with every sigh of complaint. They do not realize they are weaving garments of poverty for themselves, thread by thread, word by word. Yet the moment one awakens and becomes a watchman over speech, life begins to change. To stand guard at the door of the lips is to become the master of fortune. Each word can be chosen as one chooses coins to spend, and wise words purchase wise outcomes. Wealth begins in thought, yet thought without spoken confirmation remains as vapor. To think, "I am prosperous," is to shape the invisible, but to declare aloud, "I am prosperous now," is to call the invisible into substance. The vibration of the spoken word carries power far beyond silent musing. Sound waves ripple through the unseen and set in motion forces eager to obey. Ancient wisdom knew this, for the act of speaking was always tied to creation. The very first movements of existence were spoken into being, and that principle remains unbroken. There is no limitation to what words may shape, but they must be aligned with unwavering thought. If you whisper abundance in one moment and cry out despair the next, the forces that serve you receive conflicting orders. Just as a builder cannot follow two blueprints at once, the universe cannot deliver both wealth and poverty to the same address. Your steady speech is the map by which your supply arrives. If you wish for the river of prosperity to flow, you must continually declare its presence, speak of its abundance, and refuse to give voice to the mirage of lack. It is a discipline, yet a liberating one. Each time you restrain a word of fear, you cancel a crop of poverty. Each time you release a word of faith, you plant a seed of increase. Over days, then weeks, then months, these seeds break the surface and bear fruit. People will call it coincidence, but you will know it is the harvest of your own declaration. Do not wait for wealth to appear before speaking of it. That is like waiting for the lamp to burn before striking the match. Speak first, believe first, declare first, and the visible will conform to the invisible. Many remain trapped because they speak only what they see, and since they see lack, they speak lack, and so lack repeats itself endlessly. The wise speak what they choose to see, not what they presently behold. They use words as bridges to the unseen, calling the future into the present, summoning wealth from the invisible storehouse of substance into the tangible realm. Every fortune built in the material world was first a fortune built in words. Every empire was once a declaration. Every breakthrough was once an affirmation spoken with confidence. You too hold that same authority, for the law is impartial. It does not choose one above another, it responds alike to all. The rich are those who have spoken riches into being. The poor are those who have spoken poverty without ceasing. And the moment you change your words, you change your path. Faith dissolves fear and unlocks abundance, for fear is only the shadow of false belief, a phantom with no true substance except what the mind lends to it, while faith is the blazing light that reveals the shadow to be nothing at all. Fear chains the imagination to images of loss, lack, failure, and danger, while faith lifts the imagination to behold supply, opportunity, success, and safety. The two cannot dwell together, for when one enters, the other must depart. To walk in fear is to shut the doors of prosperity, but to walk in faith is to open them wide so that abundance flows in unhindered. When one allows fear to dominate thought, words of defeat follow, and conditions of defeat manifest. The frightened mind speaks of debts, speaks of illness, speaks of closed doors and barren fields. And because the word is creative, those very conditions appear. Fear believes in lack, and so it builds lack. Fear believes in limitation, and so it forges chains. Fear believes in misfortune, and so it invites calamity. Yet faith does the opposite with equal force. Faith believes in supply, and so multiplies it. Faith believes in freedom, and so breaks every chain. Faith believes in good fortune, and so draws miracles into daily experience. Fear is always borrowed from the past or projected into the future, never found in the eternal present, while faith dwells eternally in the now. The fearful mind rehearses yesterday's wounds and tomorrow's disasters, but faith declares, "Here and now I am provided for, here and now the infinite source sustains me. Here and now the way is open." This simple turning of attention from dread to trust transforms the atmosphere of life, for the law responds not to what one hopes timidly, but to what one declares boldly. Abundance does not come by effort alone, for effort mixed with fear is heavy labor with little reward. A man may toil by the sweat of his brow while fear whispers, "It will never be enough," and so it is never enough. But when faith is present, the smallest effort bears multiplied results, for the vibration of faith attracts opportunities unseen by the anxious eye. Faith does not struggle, it knows. Faith does not beg, it commands. Faith stands calmly in the assurance that supply is flowing, that wealth is unfolding, that unseen forces are arranging everything for good. Fear clouds the vision so that opportunities are missed, doors are ignored, and treasures are passed by unnoticed. Faith clears the vision so that the hidden path is revealed, the right door is recognized, and the treasures shine unmistakably. Two people may face the same circumstance. One filled with fear declares, "This is the end. Nothing can be done," while the one filled with faith declares, "This is the turning point. A greater good is about to emerge." The law responds accordingly, and each receives the harvest of the seed they have planted. The fearful person clings tightly, hoards, withholds, and by withholding blocks the flow of circulation, and soon their storehouse is empty. The faithful person gives freely, spends freely, shares freely, knowing that the river of supply is inexhaustible, and because they trust, more flows in as they let more flow out. Fear dams the river, faith opens the gates. Fear is contraction, faith is expansion. Fear closes the hand, faith extends it. Fear says, "What if I lose?" Faith says, "What if I gain?" Every thought of fear must be met with the word of faith, spoken aloud with authority, until the vibration of faith dissolves the illusion. When the heart trembles at lack, declare, "Infinite substance sustains me." When the mind imagines failure, declare, "Success is mine by divine right." When the lips tremble with worry, let them instead proclaim, "I walk in abundance now." Fear cannot withstand repeated affirmations of faith, for faith carries the power of truth, while fear is only a lie pretending to have power. Fear creates tension in the body, weariness in the mind, heaviness in the spirit. Faith brings rest to the body, clarity to the mind, and peace to the spirit. The one who lives in faith walks with lightness, for they know they are upheld by an unseen hand. The one who lives in fear is bent under invisible burdens, dragged down by thoughts of what might go wrong. Yet the burdens are self-made, and the moment faith is chosen, the burdens fall away. Faith is not blind optimism, it is recognition of the unseen order of good. Fear believes in disorder, chaos, and chance. Faith perceives harmony, guidance, and law. Faith knows that supply comes from a source beyond the limited channels of man, so it does not falter when one channel closes, but waits confidently for another to open. Fear clings desperately to the visible, and when the visible crumbles, it believes all is lost. Faith leans on the invisible, which can never be taken away, and so it never truly loses. The wealth that faith unlocks is not only coins and possessions, though those surely come. It is also the wealth of courage, the wealth of health, the wealth of strong relationships, the wealth of joy, the wealth of peace. Fear strips even the wealthy of these treasures, leaving them restless and anxious. Faith bestows them freely, making even the smallest coin sufficient to bring contentment, and often multiplying that coin into many. Fear shrinks every blessing. Faith enlarges every blessing. One may test this law in the smallest matters. Approach a task with fear, expecting it to fail, and watch how obstacles multiply. Approach the same task with faith, declaring it succeeds, and see how obstacles melt and assistance appears. Walk into a room with fear, and the air feels heavy, others withdraw, opportunities vanish. Walk into a room with faith, and the air feels light. Others are drawn to you, doors open in unexpected ways. This is not imagination but the precise working of vibration. For others sense unconsciously what you radiate, and conditions respond accordingly. Fear speaks the language of limitation. I can't. I won't. It never. Faith speaks the language of abundance. I can. It will. It always. The language you choose becomes the atmosphere you breathe and the destiny you create. Fear builds prisons with its words, and many live within those prisons all their lives, never realizing the key is faith waiting within their own speech. Faith does not demand proof before believing, for it knows belief itself is the cause of proof. Fear demands proof before acting, and so remains forever paralyzed. Faith steps boldly and the ground appears beneath its feet. Fear waits for the ground to appear first, and so never takes a step. The one who lives in faith moves forward into abundance, while the one who lives in fear stays rooted in lack. Fear is noisy, clamoring, restless, never satisfied. Faith is calm, quiet, steady, immovable. Fear imagines 10,000 disasters. Faith beholds one certain outcome, good. Fear scatters energy in all directions. Faith gathers energy into one powerful focus. Fear shrinks the field of possibility until only failure seems visible. Faith expands the field of possibility until success shines everywhere. To dissolve fear is not to resist it with equal force, for resistance strengthens it. To dissolve fear is to turn on the light of faith, to speak the word of abundance until the shadow fades away. A room does not struggle against darkness, it simply receives the light. In the same way, the mind does not need to wrestle fear endlessly. It needs only to speak and affirm faith, and fear flees of its own accord. Prosperity flows effortlessly when aligned with divine law, for abundance is the natural current of the universe, always moving, always circulating, always seeking channels through which to express itself. It is only when one resists, doubts, or contradicts this law that the current appears blocked. Just as a river flows downhill without strain, so too does prosperity flow without effort, when one stands in harmony with the principle that governs it. Striving, grasping, and anxious labor are unnecessary, for the law itself carries the wealth of the universe to those who allow themselves to receive. The world often teaches that prosperity is earned through endless toil, sleepless striving, and ruthless competition. But such beliefs are contrary to the higher order of life. These beliefs are born of fear, and fear always interrupts the flow. True prosperity does not come by force but by alignment. When one aligns thought, word, and action with the invisible order of good, the results unfold with a grace that seems miraculous. Doors open, opportunities arise, people appear at the right moment, and supply flows in perfect measure. What others achieve with exhausting struggle, the one aligned with divine law achieves with ease and joy. The divine law is exact and impartial. It responds not to begging, not to desperation, not to frantic effort, but to vibration and agreement. When the vibration of abundance is established in thought and confirmed in word, the law must provide circumstances that match it. It does not withhold. It does not delay. It does not choose favorites. The law is like the law of gravity, consistent, dependable, unwavering. When you release a word of prosperity, it is like releasing a seed into fertile ground. It does not question whether the seed is worthy to grow. It simply grows because the law has been set in motion. Those who chase prosperity through struggle often find themselves exhausted and dissatisfied, for their struggle itself is a declaration of lack. The one who toils while believing, "I must fight to survive," declares survival but never abundance. Yet the one who moves with faith, saying, "I live in a universe of endless supply," finds that supply flows to them in ways beyond expectation. To align with the law is to drop resistance, to release worry, to let go of the constant rehearsing of lack. It is to affirm instead the presence of supply, to give thanks for what is unseen as though it were already visible, and to act as one who knows provision is guaranteed. Consider the farmer who plants seed in fertile soil. He does not dig it up each day to check whether it is growing. He does not stay awake at night in anxiety over the harvest. He knows the law of growth will not fail him if the seed is rightly planted, the soil rightly tended, and the seasons rightly trusted. So too is prosperity once the thought, and the word have been planted in alignment with divine law, the growth is inevitable. Anxiety interrupts the process, but faith allows it to unfold in perfect order. Prosperity is not limited to money, though money is one of its channels. Prosperity is harmony in all areas of life. It is health in the body, peace in the mind, joy in the spirit, love in relationships, and success in endeavors. When aligned with divine law, all these elements flow together. For divine law never brings increase in one area only to bring loss in another. True prosperity is whole, balanced, and complete. One cannot be truly prosperous while poor in spirit, nor truly abundant while burdened by fear. Alignment with the law ensures that abundance touches every part of existence. The effortless flow of prosperity reveals itself most clearly when one acts without anxiety. A decision made in worry is often a decision made in error. But a decision made in faith, in calm assurance of supply, carries with it the current of right timing and right action. Divine law arranges conditions so that even apparent obstacles are transformed into stepping stones. What seems a delay becomes preparation. What seems a loss becomes gain. What seems a closed door becomes the redirection to a greater door. This effortless unfolding is the hallmark of alignment. One may observe how nature herself displays this law. The sun does not struggle to shine. It radiates by its nature. The tree does not force its branches upward. It grows in harmony with the law of life. The river does not strain to move forward. It flows by the pull of gravity. In the same way, prosperity does not require strain, it requires alignment. When humans resist with fear, doubt, or constant declaration of lack, they step out of the natural flow. But when they trust, affirm, and act in harmony with supply, they return to the effortless rhythm that governs all creation. This law is often described as circulation, for prosperity is not stagnant but ever moving. To hold too tightly to what one has is to block the current, but to give freely is to keep the current alive. Money, opportunities, relationships, all prosper when allowed to circulate. Divine law ensures that whatever is given in faith returns multiplied. To align with the law is to live with open hands, knowing that as you release, more flows back to you. The miser who clutches his coin finds that the stream dries up, while the generous giver finds that rivers of increase pour in. Many wonder why some seem to attract prosperity with ease while others labor endlessly without result. The difference lies in alignment. The one who aligns thought and speech with abundance attracts it naturally, without visible struggle. The one who clings to fear, doubt, and words of limitation attracts the very conditions they dread. Divine law does not choose. It simply delivers the harvest of whatever seed has been sown. If you sow struggle, you reap struggle. If you sow abundance, you reap abundance. Alignment requires watchfulness. Each word must be weighed, each thought examined, each feeling tested against the law of abundance. When fear whispers, "There is not enough," alignment answers, "The universe is inexhaustible." When doubt says, "This may not work," alignment replies, "Everything works together for my good." When lack suggests, "You must hold tightly," alignment affirms, "I give freely and receive freely." With each such affirmation, the channel of prosperity clears, and the current begins to move without obstruction. Prosperity flows effortlessly when aligned with divine law, because divine law is abundance itself. There is no effort in breathing once the lungs are open, no struggle in seeing once the eyes are cleared, no fight in hearing once the ears are attuned. In the same way, there is no struggle in receiving prosperity once the heart and mind are aligned with the truth that abundance is the very fabric of existence. True riches include health, peace, love, and opportunity, for wealth is never complete if it rests only in coin or gold. Many possess treasure in the bank yet are poor in spirit, anxious in mind, weak in body, and lonely in heart, and such a life cannot be called abundance. True prosperity is wholeness, the overflowing of good in every part of existence. The riches that endure are those which cannot be stolen, rusted, or diminished, for they spring from alignment with the unseen source and flow outward into every visible form. Health is one of the greatest of riches, for without it no treasure can be enjoyed. A body weighed down by sickness turns even luxury into misery. But when the body is strong and vibrant, even the simplest meal tastes like a feast, and even the smallest dwelling feels like a palace. Health is not only the absence of illness but the presence of energy, vitality, and balance. It is the ability to rise each day ready for the tasks of life, to walk freely, to breathe deeply, to move with ease. Health comes when one aligns not with fear of disease, but with the assurance of life's sustaining power. Words of health, thoughts of vitality, and the inner conviction that strength is one's birthright open the channels for the body to renew and restore itself. Peace of mind is another essential treasure, for even the wealthiest person can be restless, fearful, and tormented by worry. Peace is the silent gold that enriches every experience. It is the calm center that remains unmoved no matter what storms rage outside. The one who possesses peace walks steadily through difficulties and is never shaken by appearances. Peace allows sleep to be deep, decisions to be wise, and relationships to be harmonious. Without peace, riches are consumed by anxiety, but with peace, even modest possessions carry joy. Peace is cultivated by trusting the divine order of life, by releasing fear, and by holding fast to the knowledge that all things are working together for good. Love is perhaps the greatest wealth of all, for it is the substance of life itself. Love fills the heart with joy, connects souls together, and transforms ordinary days into radiant experiences. Without love, wealth is barren and empty. Love in friendship, in family, in romance, in community. Each form enriches the spirit and multiplies life's blessings. To give love is to expand, to receive love is to be nourished, and to live in love is to dwell in abundance that surpasses all material treasure. Love cannot be bought or bargained for. Yet it attracts prosperity in all its forms, for the one who radiates love becomes a magnet for good. Love heals wounds, dissolves fear, strengthens bonds, and opens doors that force could never move. Opportunity is also a form of wealth, for it is the gateway to expansion. The most abundant storehouse of treasure is of little use if there is no opportunity to employ it. Opportunity comes when one is aligned with divine law, for life constantly opens new paths to those who are ready to walk them. Every challenge holds within it an opportunity disguised, and every ending conceals a beginning. To live richly is to recognize these openings and step forward in faith. Opportunity multiplies when the mind is trained to expect it. While others complain of closed doors, the prosperous soul declares that the right door always opens at the right time, and so it does. True riches are never confined to one sphere. They touch the body, the mind, the heart, and the path of life. A balanced abundance is the mark of alignment, for divine law does not provide wealth in one area while depriving another. It is wholeness, a complete prosperity that overflows. One may have money and lack peace, and thus is still poor. One may have health but live in loneliness, and thus is still lacking. True riches ensure that all parts of life are nourished. When health, peace, love, and opportunity are present together, life becomes radiant. The days flow with harmony, and the nights rest in security. The individual becomes a beacon, shining abundance outward, blessing others by presence alone. This wholeness radiates into work, into family, into every encounter, and multiplies prosperity for all who come near. Others sense it without words, for true riches cannot be hidden. They shine through the eyes, they vibrate in the voice, they emanate in the atmosphere around a person. To seek only money is to miss the greater treasure. Money may be lost, but true riches remain. The body in alignment with life restores itself again and again. The mind anchored in peace remains steady even when possessions vanish. The heart filled with love finds joy no matter the circumstance. The soul attuned to opportunity sees doors open in the very midst of loss. These treasures cannot be taken, for they are not dependent on the shifting world, but on the eternal law that governs all. Yet money, too, joins this abundance when the other riches are present, for wealth in all forms is part of wholeness. The one who is healthy has strength to labor and create. The one who is peaceful has clarity to make wise choices. The one who is loving builds networks of support and goodwill. The one who recognizes opportunity steps boldly into prosperity. Thus material wealth becomes a natural outgrowth of the other treasures. It is not the foundation of prosperity, but the fruit of it. Alignment with divine law ensures that these riches flow together as one. When the thought is abundant, the word is abundant, the feeling is abundant. The result must be abundant in every sphere. Health is drawn, peace is maintained, love is multiplied, opportunities arise, and material supply accompanies them. This is the picture of true wealth, a life balanced, overflowing, radiant, sustained by the unseen source and expressed in every visible way. Miracles of supply are natural outcomes of right vision. For what the world calls miraculous is in truth the inevitable working of divine law. When thought, word, and expectation are aligned with abundance, the unseen substance of life takes form in ways that appear astonishing to the untrained eye. The universe holds no lack, no shortage, no withholding. All around is infinite supply waiting for recognition, and when one sees rightly, that supply rushes forth in channels unexpected, swift, and precise. The miracle is not the breaking of law, but the fulfillment of it. And what seems extraordinary is simply the natural fruit of right alignment. Right vision is the ability to see beyond appearances, to behold not what is presently visible, but what is eternally true. The fearful eye sees lack and closes in upon it, but the eye of faith perceives abundance, even when circumstances declare emptiness. To hold this vision steadily is to open the door through which supply enters. The one who insists on seeing only limitation remains bound by it, but the one who insists on seeing abundance calls abundance into form. The miracle is not chance. It is the law answering the clear and unwavering vision held within the mind. Supply manifests where it is expected. The one who looks out upon the world believing in shortage finds shortage multiplied. The one who looks out declaring that opportunity is everywhere finds doors opening on every side. The vision one carries shapes the reality one experiences, and when the vision is corrected to align with divine order, miracles follow as naturally as dawn follows night. People call it luck, coincidence, or fortune. Yet it is simply the law doing its perfect work in response to right vision. The miracles of supply often appear through unexpected channels. A gift arrives, a debt is cancelled, a new position opens, an idea unfolds, a stranger offers assistance, a door once closed swings wide. To those without understanding it appears sudden, mysterious, and unexplainable. But to the one who knows the law, it is no mystery at all. The unseen substance was always there, waiting for a channel, and when vision was aligned, the channel appeared. The miracle is not in the supply itself, but in the shift of consciousness that allowed it to come forth. Right vision never asks how, for the how belongs to the law. The mind that is constantly worrying over methods, means, and timing steps out of alignment and delays the manifestation. The vision must be held with calm certainty, without questioning, without interfering, without demanding the manner in which supply shall come. Just as a farmer plants a seed and trusts the law of growth without prying into the soil each day, so too must one plant the vision of prosperity and trust the unseen process. The miracle of harvest is not in question once the seed is rightly sown. Every great invention, every breakthrough, every sudden increase that has ever blessed humanity has been the result of someone holding a vision others could not see. Where the multitude saw impossibility, one individual saw possibility, and because the vision was held, substance conformed to it. What the world then called a miracle was simply the law answering unwavering vision. In the same way, every individual can call forth miracles of supply by holding fast to the image of abundance, by refusing to release it to doubt, by speaking it as though it were already accomplished. The vision must be clear and consistent. To waver is to delay. To mix faith with fear is to muddy the stream. If one moment you declare prosperity and the next moment you lament lack, the supply cannot flow smoothly. The vision must be tended daily with affirmations of abundance, with gratitude for unseen provision, with confident expectation. The more steadfast the vision, the swifter the miracle appears. Miracles of supply are not limited to money, though money is often included. They appear as health restored, as opportunities multiplied, as relationships healed, as peace returned. Supply is anything that nourishes, sustains, and expands life. A timely word of encouragement, a chance encounter that leads to blessing, a sudden idea that resolves a difficulty, these are all miracles of supply. They may seem small at first, but they accumulate, weaving together a life rich in provision. Gratitude is the companion of right vision. To give thanks for what is unseen, as though it were already present, is to strengthen the vision and quicken the supply. Gratitude affirms the reality of abundance, while complaint affirms the illusion of lack. Each word of thanks is a seed of prosperity, and each word of complaint is a weed that chokes it. To live in continual gratitude is to live in continual miracles, for the law responds to the vibration of appreciation with multiplied blessings. Miracles of supply often arrive at the last moment, just when the visible situation appears most desperate. This is not because the law delays, but because faith must be stretched to its full measure. When one continues to hold vision in the face of seeming loss, the breakthrough comes with a force that astonishes. The supply appears just when all seemed hopeless, and the heart learns that trust in the law is never in vain. What seemed like a late arrival is in truth perfect timing, for the law never fails, and the miracle always meets the need at the exact hour required. Right vision lifts one out of fear. When the eyes are fixed on appearances of debt, illness, or misfortune, the heart trembles and energy is drained. But when the inner vision holds firmly to abundance, the heart is steady and energy is renewed. This inner steadiness allows one to act wisely, to seize opportunity, to speak words of faith instead of fear. Thus the miracle is hastened. For conditions respond more quickly to a calm and confident spirit than to a restless and anxious one. The law does not ask whether one deserves supply. It asks only whether the vision is aligned. Just as the sun shines on all alike, so too does supply flow to any who see it clearly and call it forth. Miracles are not rewards for virtue but responses to vision. The vision of abundance cannot be denied, for the law must clothe it with substance. This is why those who expect miracles see them often, while those who doubt them rarely experience them. The difference is not in favor but in vision. Every individual holds the power to invite miracles of supply. The process is simple yet profound. Hold the vision of abundance, speak it with certainty. Feel it as though it were already here, give thanks for it daily, and refuse to let appearances of lack disturb the picture. The more consistently this is practiced, the more natural the miracles become. Soon what once seemed extraordinary is recognized as the normal flow of life, and prosperity becomes a steady company.